Got him. Nice.
We've had tons of these juvenile Goliath groupers under the bushes. Unbelievable. If you told somebody that they could go someplace and catch 40-pound largemouth bass, what would they say?
Hey, we're gonna go target these. This is fun.
There he is. Action brings action.
I grew up grouper fishing.
Oh, look at all that stuff in there. There's a big crab about to come out of there.
Yeah, that is amazing.
That's a blue crab that's the size of the kind of blue crabs that we would eat. Catching fish after fish.
That was fun, man.
Oh! Yeah!
Come on, come on. Oh! He ate it. He ate it. He ate it. Nice, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought you said you had
I got him. Relax.
Oh, dude, he just ripped my boat off. Oh! Awesome. Look at that big boy. Woo!
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
Let's run back. We'll hit a couple of these islands. There's so many Goliaths. You know, we can just honestly go Goliath fishing.
Well, I love Goliath fishing, and it's so nice to see them coming back, because for a while they were everywhere, and then they weren't anywhere. And then over the years they've started coming back. I mean, even to the point to where some people consider them a pest. But under these bushes, they're really fun. I like them a lot. Bass fisherman's dream come true. The biggest bass you've ever caught, right up under the bushes.
Yeah, well, we got a bunch of pinfish. We can flip them under there. We'll probably get a few bites. Definitely target the Goliaths and maybe find some snook, and should be fun.
You know, over the years, we've had a lot of different cycles that have come through, and one of them is that we've had tons of these juvenile Goliath groupers under the bushes, and then for whatever reason, a few years later, there weren't as many, and now we're back in this situation to where there seems to be quite a lot of them. The wind started blowing a little bit.
Yep. We got some spots to hide behind the trees, and should be real nice. It can be blowing 25 miles an hour. We can hide behind the mangroves and catch big old fish. You know, I mean, it's hard to beat that. We got a few crabs too.
I think you can catch them as good on crabs as almost anything. You got a great big crab, like those ones that nobody wants at the bait shop.
Yeah.
They'd probably love those. Every time you catch one of those Goliaths, they throw up all kinds of stuff. Big crabs and shrimp and lobsters.
A few years back, we had it to where we're going around those islands and we're seeing them. You know, you're like, whoa, there's a Goliath right there, and you're sight casting them. And it hadn't been like that for a while, but this past year, as we've been bouncing around looking for a snook, I mean, same thing. I mean, just seeing them land off the flat, sight cast them, I mean, it's really fun.
I think once they come back, they can probably get pretty big pretty fast. I grew up bass fishing and would dream about catching a 10-pound bass. I mean, I wanted to catch one so bad, and I didn't really fish in places that there were 10-pound bass. So when I got down here and realized that you could catch as many 10-pound bass as you want, they were just called Goliath groupers, and they fought real hard. That was really, really interesting to me. I think we should start with
yeah, snook rods probably. It's pretty shallow on this edge. Like it's deeper around the next point, but probably no weight's fine or something small.
Go to Isla Mirada, let's start there, and if the wind really starts to blow, we'll tuck in behind any one of these tons of keys up there.
We got this nice sheltered shoreline. The wind was kind of blowing down the edge a little bit, but we were pretty much out of the wind on a day where there was not a lot of open water options. It was windy, there was some clouds and rain coming through. This was a perfect spot. There he is.
Big?
Come on.
What do you think it is?
I'm not sure.
Not a snook.
Boy, that was cool. My cork, I threw it in there and it went down.
Oh, a little Goliath.
Nice. Just waiting around that backside of that point there. They're just hanging in there waiting for stuff to swim by. Just like a snook would be sitting there. Goliaths are doing the same thing. It's not uncommon in an area where you know it's deep enough where you have a little you know, maybe an 8-foot trough or something like that, where there could be a 50-pounder or maybe even bigger.
Beautiful fish. Healthy. He didn't cough anything up, huh?
Not yet.
A lot of times they do when you're landing them. see what they've been eating. A lot of crabs.
Pretty cool. Almost all the islands now have quite a few of these juveniles.
To get more information and purchase the gear that we're using on the show, scan the QR code.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Hawks Cay Resort and Marina. Find what lures you. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Waypoint, the destination for outdoor entertainment. Mercury, go boldly. Isla Mirada, Florida, come as you are. Ameritrail Trailers. Daiwa. Power Pole. And by Reflex.
We were using those Daiwa Harrier rods, which were perfect, man. I mean, 50 to 100 pound rod, that's what it says on the rod. But man, they had plenty of tip action, so we were able to cast, which is really, really important. We were able to cast very, very closely to the bushes, and that's why I like the jig head versus the knocker rig.
Got him. There's one. Drag. Oh boy. That's a real one.
A knocker rig is where you have the weights up here and they slide up and down the line. Sometimes that thing starts to spin and I get it caught on the bushes.
There was this 80 under there. Might be him.
Oh! Got me around that dead tree. Looks like a knot failure. I got this knot tester and I've tested basically every knot.
And what's the strongest?
There's no question that the FG is the strongest, but people, you know, it's hard to tie. The crazy thing about the FG is that it is ridiculously stronger than everything else. If I've got time, and certainly if you're doing stuff like this, you know, the FG is the way to go. It's a weave. The harder you pull on it, the more it tightens down. If you want to get into a place where you can pull as hard as you want and never worry about that knot strength, because this knot is actually stronger than this line. I didn't do my going heavy, going ugly early.
Yep, ugly early.
That's what you should do in this case. Jig head, heavy leader, FG knot, heavy line, heavy rod. Everything's heavy. I'm way more confident with a jig head to where I can get it way back in there and it's gonna sink down, and the jig head needs to be heavy enough that it's just gonna sit there on the bottom. The Goliath Groupers will be in there, they'll come out. Either rig works, it's really a matter of which one you can get deep enough into the mangroves to where you can catch it. For me, it's a jig head. There he is, already got it.
Got him on?
Someone grabbed it right away. There he is. That one's better. That was a situation where if I just pulled as hard as I could, broke him off.
Is
every
that right?
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's beautiful, man. Look at that thing.
Yeah, this is better. God, this rod is perfect for this.
Nice. That's these jigging rods. I love the action for stuff like this.
Definitely go in there with the heavier rods first. The first one you catch is probably gonna be the biggest one. He's gonna be the most dominant fish in there. He's gonna be the most aggressive fish you're gonna throw in there. He's gonna be the one that comes out and gets it first. If you're using the light stuff, he's gonna break you off. Go heavy early. That didn't take but 1 second.
Nice job.
1 second.
Put it in the right spot. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
That's your big bass?
Well, I mean, you know, 2 or 3 times that size would be nice.
Well, I mean, for flipping under the mangroves.
It's amazing. Dude, I mean, this fishery is unbelievable. If you told somebody that they could go someplace and catch 40-pound largemouth bass, what would they say?
I mean, people go all around the world trying to catch, you know, like giant.
That thing's not 40 pounds, but
I don't know about that. Nice. There he goes. See you, buddy.
Nice. He'll be back in there eating pinfish before you know it.
Good job. Get that thing
That's
out
fun,
of there, man.
dude.
That was awesome.
Great fish. Love those things. The Goliath has a bite that is it's a signature bite. It's just a boom, and you feel it. And then it just starts to slowly move back under the bushes. So it comes out, it sees it vacuums that thing in, that's the bite you feel, and then you just start to slowly see the line going away.
Yeah, he ate it there.
That's one of the best things in all of fishing, man.
Got him. Nice.
As soon as you see that, you can pull back and set that hook. That is amazing.
Too much tackle for you, big boy.
Nice.
See him making those muds in there when they eat it. Woo, he's still strong, man. Look at that, that's a big pinfish, and that's kind of a small Goliath, but tell you what, man, the mouth on that thing, he could eat something so much bigger. That guy. There you go, fella. Back down to the mangroves he goes.
Nice.
The places that I thought we would get bit is when the tide kind of pushes back up against the bank, right? So it's like in a river. So instead of this tide just kind of coming straight down the bank, there's an area where the mangroves come out a little bit and it pushes into there. And I just always imagine those fish just sitting there, and it will change as the tide changes. On the other tide, it may be they may move right over here. But I just always kind of imagine those fish just sitting in a place of an ambush where the tide is just coming right into their face.
What happens is you get it in there pretty good, and then the tide pulls it out.
Yep.
If you had a heavier jig head, you might be able to stay put.
Especially with this wind and current ripping around.
There he is.
Got him? Oh yeah. You're not rigged up right. If you don't, hit him low and pull him under those trees, you're gonna lose that battle. He's gonna wrap you around the mangroves. He's gonna get into those little caves or whatever they're under the mangroves. Nice. And you're gonna lose him. Nice.
All right.
A heavier leader, but the rod doesn't have to be much heavier.
He is a mean-looking fella. Wouldn't want that looking at you if you were a pinfish.
There's not as many snappers around the islands where the Goliaths are thick like that too.
I'll bet you there's not. There might have used to been.
Yeah.
Okay. We are steadily climbing the board. It's a great day. When they decide they want it, it is over. They don't mess around. But the cast does need to be in there.
There he is.
Action brings action.
I don't think he's little.
You don't think so?
No.
Making you huff and puff a lot.
Like you say, little is relative, but that is pretty impressive, dude.
It's a great fish, man. These Goliaths, it is, you talk about an underrated fishery.
Well, I don't think that many people know about it.
They probably don't know about it, but maybe even the ones that, even a lot of them that do, it's like, I would rather catch snook or whatever. Honestly, I like these just as much as anything else.
Oh yeah.
That one's a good size.
Nice. I grew up grouper fishing. I loved grouper fishing. I mean, we'd go off to the reefs and we'd catch the red groupers, the black groupers, and just exciting to catch a nice grouper. And these Goliaths, are that fish. If this is a black grouper, that would be a trophy. I mean, these are 20-pound fish or bigger, and they're all sitting right under these mangroves. And instead of having to run offshore in this rough water, we can be sheltered there. It's pretty incredible, really, to have a population like that.
Look at that mouth. Oh, look at all that stuff in there. There's a big crab about to come out of there.
Yeah, that is amazing. Look at that. Look at that. Right down his throat. You're right. They do cough up stuff more than any other fish.
More than any other fish that we catch.
Is that just because they're such pigs? They're always eating?
I don't know, man. Eating a lot, and I think maybe the crab lends itself to not being digested very quickly.
Yeah.
So they're probably just sitting there. Look at that, there's this big old pincher in there, just about to come back out of his mouth. And they cough that up. When I let this guy go, I bet he coughs up that whole blue crab. That's a blue crab that's the size of the kind of blue crabs that we would eat.
Yeah.
Like one on the table. This is a nice size.
You were saying crabs are good bait for them.
Oh, they're really good bait. Especially when you have other things in there that you don't particularly want to catch, like big snappers or something, if you were really targeting these. because the snapper's not gonna eat that crab.
Nice.
Good work. Big old crab.
Scan the QR code to get more information and purchase the gear that we're using on this show.
So we've been fishing these bigger and bigger boats in shallow water, whether it's a bay boat or this 26 hybrid here. Fishing them in the shallow water is an awesome option. That's what I love. I grew up fishing the skiffs and then to the bay boats, and now I fish this 26 a lot. And really the key to being able to fish it in shallow water is the power pole and the trolling motor combination. And there's a time and a place to use both. The trolling motor allows us to take that big boat into shallow water, move it around, really treat it just like we'd be push pulling a boat out like a flat skiff and move it around. And then the power pole allows us to stop, anchor silently. And there's a time and a place to use either one. Using them together is a perfect combination, but if you use the wrong one at the wrong time, you can kind of mess up your situation. Tom and I were out Goliath grouper fishing around the mangroves, and we were trolling motor down the deep trough. And that was a great opportunity for us to use the trolling motor. But then when we wanted to position ourselves perfectly, when we found where the fish were, then I got a little closer to the edge of the flat. I dropped the power poles down, and I used the trolling motor to kind of just pivot us just enough. That worked out great. I also used the power poles down there and used the active target, which is on my trolling motor, and use that to angle over and see the fish under the mangroves or next to the shoreline. So these are a couple tips that when you're using it right, you can use that combination to fish it just perfectly for every situation.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, live deeper. Hook. Tackle Direct, the world's premier fishing outfitter. Yeti, built for the wild. Live Water Sports. Golden Boat Lifts. Power Pole Move. And by Nikon.
Thank you for watching Saltwater Experience. If you'd like to see more, you can see 19 seasons of Saltwater Experience on Waypoint TV or YouTube. You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook. That's a pretty good cast. Our overhand cast back in there. Getting bit right here. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go.
Beautiful fish, man.
Yeah.
Beauty in its own way. Perfectly camouflaged, tough as it can be, mouth full of teeth, unbelievable predator. The mouth on that thing.
That'd be a great camouflage pattern for out west. You always hear about the glass out, the wrecks and different things like that, kind of even a negative because they're eating their fish that they're catching. But for us to say, hey, we're gonna go target these. This is fun. And get rigged up properly, to have the right gear, to have that as a target. That was fun, man. There we go. Got him. Nice. Man.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, that's so sweet. There must be a bunch down there,
There's a bunch. Yeah, I think when you find them, I mean, rarely have I ever just found like a couple, you know, like on real shallow tarpon spots, I'll find like a couple. We're fishermen like anybody else. If that's where the action is, that's where we're staying, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, that was what we were looking for, man, to be able to come out, call the shot, say, let's go catch some Goliaths.
I'll tell you what, on a windy day, how do you do better than this? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's fun.
This is like the best.
There's lots of different things to do down here, but I'll tell you what, this is right up on the top of my list as far as cool stuff.
For sure. Windy day.
Well, you know,
not gonna do a lot better. Really, you're not.
We're seeing them, we're flipping, we're casting under the mangroves, catching big fish. I like it.
It's a great big fish.
I like it.
Light tackle too. I mean, really, we keep saying how heavy this tackle is, but it's really not that heavy tackle compared to what you might use offshore for a same fish the same size.
Well, I can say you outfished me with the jig head today. That was good. You're right. That's nice where it
Well,
Just sits there perfect.
how do you do any better? That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, man.
We'll give these guys a break. They'll be back. We can come back and see them on another windy day.
That was awesome. Good
Take
stuff,
care of your
man.
spot, man.
Yeah.
Take
like
care
it.
of your spot. It'll take care of you. If you had somebody that had never done that before, that would be just an amazing day.
A fun day, a great time to be up, you know, in that Islamorada area where it's just so beautiful. It's a day where we have very few other options that we can do. We're not getting beat up, nobody's getting seasick, and we're just hanging out behind a nice mangrove with beautiful clear water, catching fish after fish. Man, it's a fish that you could really target.